Hope I swing good, fuck a deal. If I fall, I'ma take it down like a pill.
Hi Gems, it's your girl Ambra and welcome back to my channel. You guys, today's video is gonna be a little bit different. You know, I got quite a bit of encouragement and love and pouring of positivity with my previous video coming back to YouTube after a year. You know, life has changed so much. Your girl is thriving, she is happy, she is healthy, she's in love, okay? And I know that a lot of you who have been riding with me for a very long time, listen, let's just call a spade a spade. Y'all done seen 3 men on my YouTube channel. And I am not ashamed of it. You know, that was me showing and being authentic to what was going on in my life at the time. And although those videos are no longer up on my channel, it's still important to me to share how I was able to achieve love after trauma and the steps that it took to get to this place. You know, it didn't happen overnight. It definitely was a journey. And I've actually had quite a bit of people, whether they DM me on Instagram or message me here on YouTube, just like, girl, what tools, what did you do? Because like, girl, I give up. And I hear you. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I really had this mindset, and I told you in the last video, like, let me just raise some amazing humans, get them out the door, get them on their merry way to living their best lives, and then kind of live my next chapter once I was an empty nester, which won't be until I'm 58 at this point. But I just was so scared of not only exposing my children to new people, because as a mom, like, my #1 priority is to keep them safe. And I have failed in some instances, not to the detriment of, you know, significant harm, but enough. You know, I just didn't go about it right. So with every lesson, I'm obviously taking such great measures before moving in a direction to expose the kids to any more trauma. You know, like, we always talk about generational curses, and I know I've broken a ton with the way that I've raised my children, but I still beat myself up as a mom. Like, I didn't do everything right, and it's not okay, but I can't continue to beat myself up about it. All I can do is show improvement and teach my children about picking yourself back up when you're at your lowest moment, being resilient, being determined and motivated, and just understanding their worth and knowing that they deserve. And through my process, and I'm gonna go back and provide some timelines and some content for you all, just so that you can know where I was at any given point at this particular point in my life at the end of a breakup. And although you never saw the boy's father, like, that was a significant relationship in my life, right? Like, I came away with that, 2 children, divorced, starting over at 28, 29 years old. It's still impacted. You may not have seen it, but my children and my family and my friends. So I'm just coming to you from a place of, like, you are not alone. You won't be the first nor the last. But what I can do is at least set you up with particular tools so that you don't have to experience too much trauma, or none at all. Honestly, like, listen, as your big sis, for some of those who are younger than me, I crawled so that you can walk, okay? Be a better generation of women who requires a higher standard for themselves, and not wait until you're in your 40s to determine, like, enough is enough, okay? I am so encouraged because I look at my nieces and I look at my daughter, and I just, like, play with someone safe. Play somewhere safer, okay? Because my girls now will never, ever, ever have to go through what I had to go through, not let alone the work that I had to do within myself from just my childhood, but also in the relationship and love space. Like, we see a pink flag, baby, that might as well be blood red, because keep it moving. Of course, JoJo is in the mix. And I have some time before Bo finds out where I am. But yeah, I just wanted to talk to you guys about, like, I really dialed this down to, like, my top 5 steps that I took to really repair the little girl in me, the young woman in me, the mother in me, the lover in me. So first thing first is that, to provide some context, I separated from the boy's father in 2012. I remarried in 2015 and was divorced December of 2019. So just in that short stint of time from 2012 to 2019, it was a lot of changes and a lot of quick adjustments, right? I was ending a relationship that lasted 10 years, finding someone relatively quickly and getting married just 3 years later to what ended up being the most traumatic relationship of my life. And if you haven't seen that video, I encourage you. It's not about extending pity upon me, but more show this to other young women, show this to young men, because it can happen on both ends of the spectrum. Send it to someone that you love so that they can hear what I went through, they can see the pain that I experienced, and hopefully it helps. I posted it to help one woman, and I've helped several since posting it back in 2013. And just the significance and the way that it's given me confidence to truly love myself with all my flaws. It was really empowering to tell my story, although so sad. I'm no longer triggered because I'm so far removed from the woman that once experienced that to where I am in the work that I've done, that I really took time after my second divorce to reset and reflect. And that's the first step that I took. And what that meant was I cried all the time. I would scream into my pillow often. I would find nuggets in my day to just feel. Because what I find is that people that go through trauma, and again, there's so many levels to trauma that one, I'm not educated enough to speak on, and two, I don't have the experience. I can only speak on domestic violence or love trauma. And for me, in my experience, I needed to grieve the relationship. I needed to grieve the idea of my forever. I needed to grieve losing myself, right? I had to, or losing the life that I thought I had. I needed to really reflect on like behaviors and conversations, and I allowed myself to feel. Far too often, people are looking to get the expedited version after pain, like boom, grab a t-shirt, postcard, we at the finish line. But in order to get to the other side of it, to get to the light at the end of the tunnel, you have to go through it. And for me, going through it was resetting and reflecting. And it allowed me to pinpoint certain aspects of my relationship that I will never let happen to me again. There are certain conversations that I've had with my ex that definitely gave me one of those feelings. So if I ever feel the, that God-given intuition where God is kind of like, but you be like, listen to that. That buzz in your ear is probably the Holy Spirit telling you this ain't a good person to be committing your life to. And I would say that reset and reflection period took 2 years. Took 2.5 years. It was actually a stage in my therapy, which is also a part of the reflecting and resetting, is sitting down with a therapist. Like, I called sis with my ex-husband. I called my therapist the day after it happened. I wanted her to see me physically. I wanted her to know that this is a dire situation and I need help. My mental space is shot. And during that process, I kept thinking to myself, like, baby, who you got time to be kikiing with and like attention and affection? And I ghosted so many people. I never followed up with people. I ended up just like, I just need to be by myself. I need to be alone. I don't even want to entertain dating for the sake of it. I would use it as an excuse to like, let me practice. Let me see if I've learned. Let me put any of my applications to I wouldn't recommend it. I really wouldn't recommend it. When I say I took 2 years before I decided to say, God, I think I'm ready to share space with someone, that's how long it took. I highly encourage you guys to like take the time. If you are in the midst of a breakup right now, take the time to honor your feelings. Hear them, feel them, identify with them, because it's going to be super important to your development as a human. If you know yourself so much that you've taken the time to sit with yourself, because some people don't like to be with themselves. And now I'm my best friend, so now I'm always like, I love being by myself. Someone who is a former people pleaser, I only participate 3 out of the 7 days of the week because I just love people so much. But it was super important to me to regain my confidence, regain my self-worth, and in identifying the when and what, the biggest tool that I used in conjunction with therapy was books. baby, your girl got a library on how to get her life together, okay? I decided to just engross myself in books and self-development books because I just didn't have the tools. It's not like I could sit down with my mom and expose to her all of my vulnerabilities just out of fear of judgment. And not that my mother doesn't make it a safe space, but it's like, maybe you don't even have the words to identify exactly what it is that you're going through. So I would encourage you, and I'm gonna list these books in my description box below. The first book that I grabbed, and this was referred to me from a friend of mine who'd known that I had gone through surviving domestic violence and really going through that healing process. She sent me this book. It's called Set Boundaries, Find Peace. And in that process of the when and what, and really the reset and the reflection, I was asked, I don't know if it's my mother or my therapist, what in a relationship is most important to you? Everyone has their top tier. Some, I need a provider, that is super important to me. Some people, I need to feel safe because that's super important to me. And the one word that I could come up with that was number one top tier is anyone who came into my life had to possess an energy or a mindset or an aura to never disturb my peace. I was in my sister's basement for 2 years after that divorce to rebuild my financial means and status and job and getting the kids, and now I have my own home. And before I met Alex, it was like, oh, the kids just felt safe, and they felt, I mean, not that they weren't safe at my sister's house, let me get that right, but you know what I mean, like they have their own space, they can stretch out, they can just like develop and form into the humans that they are in a space that wasn't filled with chaos, hectic, or just scary energy, right? So I knew that I had to find my peace. I had to identify what things made my life peaceful and lean more into that. And anytime I felt a disruption of that peace, out of here. And I took it very, very seriously. I still reflect back on this. When I was in my early stages of dating out, I read it again because I know that I am also a former codependent individual, and I just engross more into my partner and forget everything about me. And I just knew that when the time came and God was saying, okay, let's do this, that I had to make sure that I never made any alterations to who I am, setting my boundaries, setting the expectation. I needed to stay firm in that and not flex, because whoever is meant for you will be without confusion, because confusion is of the devil, and the devil wants to come up and shake your shit so that you are rattled and distracted from God's blessing, whether that be a partner, whether that be a gift, whether that be something you acquire. I promise you, if you notice your life shifting and things are becoming hectic because someone new has entered it, that is a red flag. That is God using things around you to shake up, to say, this ain't right. It's almost like when you are allergic to something and you didn't know. So you eat, and then you realize, oh, this is a new food group, and I just blew up into a rash. Same concept with these dusty ass. Okay, sorry. With these men who are not prepared to love you in the way that you deserve to be loved. Yo, this was Bible to me. Like, I read page after page and would just cry because I just felt foolish. This book right here helped me in my divorce. And it really allowed me, so that when I got into a space with like Bo's father, where I was like, this isn't my person. And it just helped me. And there's no ill intent here, right? Like, I'm sure he's moved on, he's happy, and he's thriving. But I knew, based on the work that I did, this was not my forever. You know, I got a kid, you know, like, girl, you ain't 18. Like, listen, everything you could be thinking about, I've already said to myself, but I'm human. And if God can extend grace to me, then I need to give myself some grace, because life be lifing. And it's just about how you recover and how you move forward from it. So it was super important for me to take the time before getting into a space with Bo's dad that I had easy identifiers, right? I knew what would work for me, and I prioritized what I needed in a relationship to determine like whether or not a new partner or someone that I was focused on could be my forever, because I'm of a certain age where I wasn't dating to casually date, you know? I was dating because I know I'm a wife, period. I am a wife. I am a long-term monogamous girl. I'm not going to change who I am just to make other people feel comfortable. However, what I will do is remove anything that doesn't align with who I am. It's not rocket science. It truly is not rocket science. I think I heard on TikTok the other day where if you won't take their advice, then don't take their criticism, right? So once I started to really stand in who I was like, oh no, baby, this ain't for me. This is confusion. Because what did Maya Angelou say? I'm gonna tell you what she said, because I keep this quote in my phone all the time. Have enough courage to trust love one more time. Always one more time. And that has always resonated with me. Like, we look at the girls like Elizabeth Taylor. Sis been married 100 times, but she said, I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna get it right. Now, I'm not saying you have the means to go through all those different changes or expose your family to all those different people, baby, because Lord knows I'm not trying to get any more notches on my belt. But I say that all to say that if it's not this person, there are 7.4 billion people in the world, and there's someone for you, because God built us to be in a companion type space. It doesn't have to be married, but as humans, we need companionship, and there's nothing wrong with wanting it. It's just making good choices and really digging into your picker, because my picker was dusty, dirty, musty, funky, and it needed a good old spring cleaning. And I took time to do that because it required a lot of internal work, because if I'm expecting something of my partner, I want to show up for them in the same way. And I think that for a while, as the female in the relationship, it's always like, these men ain't shit. And don't get me wrong, they don't be, they really ain't. But it also, like, reflect on yourself. Like, what could you have done different? How could you have stepped up in a place to be like, you know what? Not to, like, hurt anyone's ego or pride, but, like, it's just not a good fit. And that's exactly what I did in regards to my last relationship after my divorce. Getting past your breakup, how to turn a devastating loss into the best thing that ever happened to you. Baby, this was my Bible. Like, this is when I was talking about crying earlier. I'm sorry I didn't show it. I think I was just caught up in what I was talking about. But this is by Susan J. Elliott. This is the one that I shared with my sister. It's helped us a great deal. Like, the rules of disengagement, right? Like, you know, that constantly texting back, like, you ain't shit, you ain't shit. Yeah, then y'all slip and y'all end up having sex and just crazy things. Like, I'm telling you, I'm trying to keep it 100 with y'all. Like, this shit be happening. So how and why to go no contact with your ex, I do that. I've done that. I just block. You gotta block them on every call. You have to block them everywhere. Everywhere. How to work through grief, move past fear, and take back your life. The secret to breaking the pattern of failed relationships, baby, Bible. If anything, get this one. Get this one. I'm telling you what to do when you can't stop thinking about your ex. Texting, calling, checking social media networking, or driving by the house. Baby, you won't be the first, you won't be the last. Don't sit up here and be like, when I break up, I just keep. No, you don't. We all go through this, and we all need tools to navigate spaces that we've never crossed before. And I'm telling you, y'all, these books were life-changing. They changed my life in ways that I can't even begin to tell you. Obviously, you see that I'm happy. Obviously, you see that I'm in love. Obviously, you see me just letting go of my past, applying what I've learned into my current. And girl, my skin is better. You see my skin? Let them dusty men alone. Leave them alone, y'all. Leave them alone, because you are the prize. It took me a long time to learn this. So I'm trying to tell y'all so y'all don't gotta worry about being 41 finally figuring it out. Because one thing is for certain, two things were sure. Marriage is not hard. It's who you chose that makes it difficult. So I hope that this was helpful, you guys. Like I said, I'm gonna link them below. I just wanted to share with you that like, I am not ashamed of my past. I am grateful for the woman that I am today. And I've realized that although it was tough, excruciating, like wrenching, gut-wrenching, I am so grateful for this opportunity. I am so appreciative of what I have now, and I'll never let it go. I'll never let it go. My peace, it has a price tag that doesn't have enough commas, you know? And I hope and I wish and I pray that for you all. If you have any questions, make sure that you comment below. I love engaging with you. Listen, I come from a place of no judgment. We have all done it. We have all done it. You are not better than the next. We are just working on being the next elevated level for ourselves. We're looking to take the next elevation and to be a better version of ourselves than we leave behind. So, that we left behind. But until our next video, gems, shine bright. Really quick, gems, if you've gotten to this far in the video, one, I just want to say I appreciate you. Thank you for allowing me a space to be vulnerable and be authentically myself. Everybody's story is different. Everybody's trauma is different. And I pray every day that not another human being on this earth ever has to go through love trauma to get to their forever. But if you do indeed experience it, I do hope that you read the books that I've listed in the description box. But I wanted to tell you about one more book that I did not include in the bulk of the video, and that is my own affirmations journal. Through my process, it was super important for me to continue to speak positivity over my life, that I am worthy, that I am loved, that I am smart, that I am beautiful, that I am motivating and inspiring. So I created my own journal, you guys, and I'll make sure to link it below. It is linked at Amazon. The book is called AFFIRM, Your Daily Journal. And right in the front, you'll get a table of contents that outlines 20 affirmations, along with a daily wellness log that allows you to really just get your thoughts out. With good, bad, or indifferent, sometimes you just need to expel information so that you feel that release. You feel that there's been some traction on your life. So I'm not gonna go into this big spiel. I just wanted to share with you guys my baby. I developed this from a broken heart, and it has repaired me in more ways than one. So again, until our next video. Mwah.